Okay, so we look at Sekiro Shadows Die Twice at 21:9. I love this. Love it. I was really worried that From Software would step into a completely different direction when they left the Dark Souls series, but all fears have been quelled and we have another brutally challenging experience to enjoy. But first, the unsurprising ultra-wide support. Natively, there is no support at all, with the game just adding black bars to the sides of the screen. Nothing really amazing there, as From Software, whilst they make great games, have never been any good at PC support, and this is no exception. The list of other issues I'll cover in a minute. However, Jack Fuste, fantastic as ever, has released a ridiculously easy exe file mod that allows the game to make full use of the screen. Just download the file, linked in the description, unzip it, navigate to your game folder, rename the original one as a backup, though there's no real need for this, you could just delete it, and stick in the downloaded jackfuste.exe file, and off you go. Immediately, in-game gameplay will be fully 21:9. The HUD and all screen effects will unfortunately be using the 16:9 space, cutting off abruptly on the sides, but this is still a mile better than black bars on the sides. Cutscenes are both 21:9 with black bars all around, and actually in-game renders that use the entire screen space show off more on the sides of the screen correctly, a really lovely surprise. All menus are 16:9 but work perfectly, either with black bars on the sides like for the main menu, or just the paused game world behind in the in-game menu. The loading screen is really the one majorly glitchy screen where the sides flicker in and out with the loading game world behind, but this is a small issue. And this is pretty much the first version of this mod, so as time goes on, I'm sure that Jack Fuste or whoever will improve upon this mod and will get things like the HUD actually using the entire screen space. So yeah, fantastic work there. Thanks to anyone who's working on these sort of fixes. Performance-wise, there is a 60 FPS cap, and there's still no unlocked frame rate. Well, there is a mod that can unlock your frame rate, but there are a lot of issues with the frame rate unlocking right now. On the whole though, there are a far more robust set of graphic settings, something Souls games have been very light on the ground with in the past, which does allow this to run on a wider range of systems more easily. That said, it isn't amazingly optimized. On a GTX 1080 Ti at 3440x1440, I could run everything on highest everything settings and maintain that 60 FPS cap at all times. No surprise really, but generally good to see that there's very few FPS drops. Well, actually, I said that at the start of the game, but after a few days of playing this, I've started to find that I'm actually getting a lot more FPS stuttering as the game goes on. I'm not really sure why, like what's causing it. It doesn't seem to be loading, as stuttering will just happen in the middle of a fight, or just as I'm walking around one same area, the game will just collapse on itself for a few seconds. It's a little annoying, and I'm sure a patch will fix it, but for the moment, it's certainly an issue. And furthermore, the game isn't massively stable, with it actually blue screening my PC on the first startup. Also, my 5.1 surround sound setup has the voices broken, they're extremely quiet, and no amount of fiddling with the volume settings in-game could sort it out. So I have to just use the subtitles and assume that voices are talking in the background, or just switch to my headphones. Also, don't run this in windowed mode, it just causes it to stutter a ton more. There is full controller and mouse and keyboard support, both of which support full key rebinding, which is lovely to see. Oh, and yes, there is Steam Cloud support. And I say that because amazingly, Souls 3 didn't have that for a long time, and I lost a lot of game time reinstalling Windows, not realizing that the save file wasn't saved with Steam. So what is this like as a game? The easy answer is, think of Dark Souls but set in Japan, and you have the basis of what this is. It is phenomenally challenging and contains a fantastically interesting story with characters and environments you'll love exploring, but it is also far more than this. From Software have really gone above and beyond what we've had before. Your movement is now fully vertically integrated with a grappling hook to fling yourself around the world and the ability to double jump. There is no stamina bar to watch, and combat is notably different, forcing a new perspective on how you need to fight. It really rewards continuous, fast hits instead of a 1-2 hit attack before retreating to a distance to recover. Stealth is now also a huge gameplay mechanic, with the world being far more open and interactable. You can go on top of buildings, shimmy across cliff edges, and swim along previously immediate death-inducing rivers. This is essentially the perfect way to follow up the Dark Souls series. This feels so similar, even down to the UI, but at the same time you're given such a completely new system of gameplay to discover and develop that you won't feel at all comfortable from the start. This is totally another Dark Souls game, and yet totally not. If you played this already, you'll absolutely know what I'm talking about. I can easily recommend buying this. It is absolutely worth your money and time and makes me fantastically excited to experience what this new chapter in From Software's development lifecycle will look like. I'm going to give this a WAF score of 2, and just about 2. Thanks again to Jack Fuste for allowing the ultra-wide community to thrive and enjoy games even when developers fail to do their jobs completely, because otherwise this game would have a WAF score of absolute 0. I hope that gives you some information on the game runs at 21.9. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe for future info. For any of the games at 21.9, head over to my channel, the WAF website. Hopefully I've covered it. If I haven't, then leave a comment down below and I'll try and cover it. And if you'd like to support the channel, links on my Patreon page in the description, and Amazon affiliate links are there too. See you later.